witnessed some truly fantastic feats never seen on television before. They're not the sort of tricks like you see on some shows. These are demonstrations of human ability because we're devoting tonight's programme to one of the most extraordinary men in the world. Do you believe that a man could generate enough electricity in his hands to set fire to things that he touches? That a human being is able to live underwater without breathing? How are these things possible? What sort of a person could be capable of that? How would you spot a superhuman being like that in a crowd? Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Valery Lawrynenko. Good evening. Thank you for coming, Valery. And this is his interpreter, Felicity. Mr. Lawrynenko is a truly superhuman being, and he's here tonight to put himself to the test. He's already been checked by scientists and experts in magic and trickery, and they can find no evidence of deception. He comes from a small village in the Ukraine, and for most of his life he's kept his powers secret. People like him were imprisoned in Siberia if they refused to work for the Soviet government. We wanted to show you something quite incredible tonight, but this week we were banned from doing so by the Home Secretary, who has forbidden us bringing in an 80,000-volt stun gun into the country. We couldn't let it rest there, though, so we went to Germany to film this. The original models were used in slaughterhouses. This version is meant for muggers. 80,000 volts of agonizing and paralyzing power. And now, straight into the base of the brain. One shot will knock out a grown man, but Lawrynenko just soaks it up over and over again. Terry Palmer, you understand these stun guns. Can you tell us, what would you normally expect?
Well, normally they go down as if they've been poleaxed. They go into a spasm, they shake. It's like they've had a heart attack or a fit. It's amazing that that hasn't happened. So you saw the way he was using it there. He wasn't just firing it once or twice. I mean, it was quite repeated. Oh, yes, yes. It's amazing. I'm surprised that he's still standing, to be honest. Have you ever seen anybody else able to use a stun gun on themselves or anything similar to that before? Never, no. So what do you think he's doing? Do you have any idea? I haven't actually, no. Okay. I'm totally amazed. I want to throw it out to the audience. Anybody in the audience got any ideas about how Mr. Lawrynenko might be doing this? Yes, sir. Yeah. It'll be a trick gun, isn't it? You think it's a trick gun? Yeah. Well, it's not a trick gun, actually. We checked the gun. What about, yes, you, sir?
I think he's wearing rubber boots.
You think he's wearing rubber boots? Okay. So you're not, neither of you are convinced? It'll take more than that to convince you. Whatever the truth of all this, please do not, on any account, try to copy any of his experiments at home. This is serious stuff and could be dangerous. It's clear he's different to most of us. For one thing, he has extraordinary control over his body. He can even raise and lower his heartbeat at will. We can watch that happening by using this ECG machine. Are you ready, Doctor?
I'm ready.
Okay. Is Mr. Lawrynenko ready?
Вы готовы? I'm ready.
Okay. We're going to listen to his heartbeat through this microphone. I'm going to place there.
I'm now going to start raising it.
Right.
Okay. Хорошо.
You can hear it getting faster. 78.
78.
89.
89.
What sort of thing would a person have to be doing to create this
101.
101.
Really running very fast would be the normal thing to put this up. 112.
112.
Other things I can't tell you about on a family show. 122.
122.
128.
128.
133.
133.
138.
138.
By now, somebody like Lympha Christie will be coming to the end of the 100 yards. 140.
140.
Yes. Stopping, he's stationary at 140 now.
140.
Is he okay?
Как?
Yeah.
Ничего, нормально?
Да, вроде нормально.
Окей. Спускать будете?
132.
132.
And now going to slow down again. 125.
125.
113.
113.
Have you ever come across anything like this before, Doctor?
The only time I've ever seen anything like it was somebody who had been bewitched when I was working in Africa a long time ago. And his pulse went down to 20-something. And very frightening it was.
Сейчас я буду опускать быстро.
109.
Going down quickly. 109.
It's taking it right down now, but the machine is not recording it.
Сейчас вы спускаете, но это не записывается.
Is the machine
93 on here, but it sounds much,
Нет, но это намного
much slower on
меньше.
listening to it.
Записывается
69.
69.
You can definitely hear how slow it's going.
Indeed. It sounds actually slower than 60, I must say.
Is it safe for him to take it lower?
А как насчет
I'm sure he's done it before.
Я уверен, что он уже этим занимался, знает, как это быть.
43.
43.
What's the machine telling us now?
That's telling us an alarm that when somebody's anaesthetised, if their pulse goes that low,
Это потому
there's
что
an
когда
alarm
под
to warn the
анестезией,
anaesthetist that some
если
problem
ниже
is arising.
43, тогда это уже тогда
Getting much slower.
спускается, замедляется.
What do you estimate his pulse to be right now?
About 45.
Около, наверное, 45.
Now gone right down.
Исчезало, но теперь уже сильнее слышится.
It's about now down.
It seemed to stop there for a
It
moment.
stopped down to certainly 10 or 12,
Я бы
yes.
сказал, что это где-то
And
от
now it started again normally.
10,
come back.
12, до 10, 12 спустилось.
And now it's come back to a normal pulse and a
Сейчас
normal.
уже нормально.
It feels normal again.
Could you ask him to come back to normal, please?
Пожалуйста, будьте добры, нормализуйтесь.
And he's a bit sweaty, but not too bad.
Все, сейчас
Okay.
нормально, сейчас нормально.
Окей. He's okay.
Is he back to normal, yeah?
Вы нормализовались?
Да, нормально.
Yes.
Not.
Все было красным, да?
How does he feel? Does he feel okay?
Как вы себя чувствуете? Нормально?
Да, нормально.
Yes, okay.
That was extraordinary. How does he do it?
А как вы это делаете? Каким образом вы это делаете?
Я не знаю, я могу делать и все. Как я делаю, я не знаю.
I don't know how I do it. I just can do it, and I don't know how I do it.
Fantastic. I want to come to the audience now. Can I come to you, sir?
Yes, I mean, I think it is amazing. We have a number of techniques in Eastern medicine, yoga, meditation, and Western medicine where people can change their heart rate, as the doctor said, a certain number of points. But I mean, I've never heard of someone changing it to this degree. So it really is most extraordinary.
I'd like to go to Trojan from the Gladiators. You have to train yourself to heights of physical perfection to do what you do. What do you make of Lavrinenko?
I want to know what lager he drinks, basically. It's amazing. I mean, he really is a bit of an action man, isn't he? And some of the stuff we've seen tonight, it's just blown me away, to be honest.
Have you ever seen anything like it before?
No, definitely not. I'm a true believer in, I don't believe in something until I've seen it. And I heard about the show tonight, and I was very kind of sceptical, but it's definitely, after night of seeing, is definitely believing.
Okay, Mr. Lavrinenko, what are you going to do next?
Что теперь?
Ну, сейчас будет такая необычная способность передачи через тело электроэнергии.
So now I'm going to show, demonstrate a particular ability of an unusual ability of being able to transmit an electric current through somebody else's body.
And... Does he need a volunteer? volunteer for this?
Добровольцы уже передумали. А вам нужен доброволец?
Тогда мне нужен просто мужчина. Мужчина есть в зале?
So I just need a man. Do we have a man here?
Who'd like to volunteer for this one? Well, there's 3 hands up in the house.
Добровольцев уже
You,
значительно
sir,
меньше.
come and join us. Let's give him a nice big round of applause. Your name?
Phil?
Phil, have you ever met Mr. Lavrinenko before?
No, I don't think I could pronounce his name, actually. No, I haven't.
Даже не выговорю его имя.
Right, well, he wants you to take part in an experiment in just a moment because he has a unique ability to generate massive amounts of electricity in his body, then discharge it at high temperature sparks through his fingertips. And they're so hot that they'll burn through paper. That's 451 degrees Fahrenheit. We wanted to make sure that there was no chance of any concealed trickery. So Mr. Lavrinenko has agreed to strip off. There can't be anything hidden on his body that could explain what's going to happen next.
Я хотел спросить, это мужчина?
I wanted to ask, are you a man?
No.
Сейчас мы проверим.
Now we'll check it.
Да.
I'm not stripping off.
Нет ли у меня источников энергии?
As it's a question of actually transmitting electric energy, electric power into your body, you have to look me to make absolutely sure that I've got no sources of energy, no extra hidden sources of energy.
Я усилю этот эффект.
I'd like to invite onto the stage Mr. Lavrinenko's wife. This is Natalia.
Это у нас такие вещи есть. Азия. Дома Азия. Посмотрите просто.
Just have to look at it to make sure that it's genuine newspaper.
Yeah, looks like newspaper to me. Why does he need the piece of metal?
Зачем вам нужен лист металлический?
Потому что энергия куда-то должна выходить, где-то должна...
Because the energy actually has to go somewhere. It has to go into something.
Right, okay.
Careful, careful.
Секундочку. Электричество.
Yes, so that now we've got to make a circle. You're going to approach your hand, put your hand gently, carefully towards this, and then we'll make a circle with your hand through me and onto the metal sheet.
Но если правой рукой, то не убьет.
If it's the right hand, it won't kill you. Careful, very gently.
Сюда.
You okay? Phil, all right, come on. What happened?
It was like getting... It was electric shock. Like a mains electric shock.
Was it very strong?
It
should see
grabbed
it,
my
yeah.
hand. Yeah, it was strong. Yeah. You do it.
No, I'm not doing it. You volunteered. I need to, keep a sort of an integrity, a distance, I would volunteer, obviously. Okay, thanks very much, Phil. All right, okay. Okay. We'll need to take the lights down so that we can see this next bit properly.
Вот это вот ветер, оно...
What's happening now?
There's a draft which is getting in, which is spoiling it, stopping it.
It's originating from the piece of metal. I don't know if it's coming from his fingers. Can he do it with just his fingers, or does he need a metal?
Это через металл или можно просто из пальцев это делать?
Эх. Не видно, да?
Can you see? Can you see the spark?
The paper's not just burning, there's a spark continuing from... Hang on a sec. Yes, the sparks are coming off his fingers
Да,
now.
это из пальца.
Ну вот она из пальца должна быть.
Okay.
Может ее попробовать.
Can we bring the doctor back?
Сейчас подойдет врач.
You're an expert in burns, Dr. Roberts. What do you make of his finger?
Посмотрите его палец.
Well, it is burnt. It's a little blister which is weeping gently, and I won't press too hard because it's probably quite sore. But he has, without a doubt, burnt his finger.
What sort of temperature would create that burn?
Ну, зарю.
200-300 centigrade, which is 400 Fahrenheit. It could have been caused by flame in the same way. Flame or electricity will look the same.
Is it like putting your finger on the hot plate of a cooker, for example?
If it was really very hot, yes. Or a match. If you put a match to your finger, that's what it would look like.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you once again, Mr. Lawrinienko. The sheer physical strength that Lawrinienko has is really phenomenal. Just watch this. A railway yard in North London. It requires the power of a shunting engine to move 40 tons of railway carriage into position on a stretch of clear and level track. And then it'll be up to Lawrinienko. He'll take over from the locomotive and pull the carriage using nothing but the strength of his muscles. But it's how he harnesses those muscles that makes him different from other strongmen. There's a doctor and nurse standing by, because if what he plans goes wrong, they could be needed urgently. He's going to attempt to haul that train with thin steel wires inserted through the muscles of his arms. He says it's more efficient than using his hands. Lawrinienko shows no sign of pain or even discomfort as he loops and bends the wires into shape. First one arm, then the other. We're banned by the TV authorities from showing you the full insertion procedure. The wire loops are now firmly fixed to ropes which are hooked to the train. The doctor says he's worried that under tension, those steel loops could slice through muscle and bone like wire through cheese. Lawrinienko's mind is on other things as he prepares to take the strain. We'll return to that in a moment, but first, Lawrinienko is now ready to attempt what is perhaps his most dangerous experiment tonight. How long is it possible for a human being to survive underwater without drowning? Doctors say about 6 minutes without oxygen, and then the brain is damaged beyond repair. But Lawrinienko claims that since he was 11 years old, the individual cells in his body have been capable of storing so much oxygen that he has no need to breathe for astonishingly long periods. Right now he's preparing, he's hyperventilating. He's putting a peg on his nose, and he's going to give himself one big breath of oxygen. Okay, he rolled into the water like that because he says it's the best way of getting in without using up energy and oxygen. As you can see, he's got diver's weights strapped around his waist, and they'll keep him comfortably on the bottom till he decides to return to the surface. Appears to be in some sort of trance. Those bubbles of air that we're actually seeing are leaking out from underneath his bathing cap. Remember, this is very dangerous. Under no circumstances should anybody attempt this. Mrs. Lawrinienko's watching very carefully She's the only insurance policy he's got, and if she sees anything untoward, she'll get him out of there immediately. He can hear her through the water, as every minute or so she calls out the elapsed time.
4.
He seems to be all right so far, so let's return to the film we left you with just now, because I want to show you just how incredibly strong his physical abilities are. His muscles pierced with wire, Lavrinenko's mind is totally focused as he pulls against the 40-ton load. They've never seen anything like it before. But things are not going well. They're watching those arms very carefully, but Lavrinenko says he can make his muscles as hard as rock, and they have no need to worry. At last, a tiny sign of movement. He's got the train on the move. There's 40 tons of pressure cutting into those arms. Amazingly, there's no bleeding. No scars left over from similar attempts in the past. Within a day or two, the holes will have healed without trace. For some weird reason, they always do. Five minutes and 30 seconds, still counting. Is he all right in there?
Наташа, все нормально?
Да.
Да, yes.
He's okay. Is the doctor still here?
5:45.
What do you think, doctor?
Well, he's still there.
Right, this is getting a little worrying now. His body seems to be shaking right now. Is he okay?
Все нормально, Наташа? Yes.
Hang on, something seems to be happening. His eyes are opening.
6:15.
There's the instruction from Mrs. Lavrinenko for him to come out. He's coming out.
Yep.
He was underwater for nearly 7 minutes. Tonight you've seen Lavrinenko electrocute himself with an 80,000-volt stun gun, speed up and slow down his heartbeat from 11 beats to nearly 150 beats a minute, generate electricity in his fingers, pull a 40-ton train with hooks through his arms and stay underwater without breathing for nearly 7 minutes. Quite a night's work. Mr. Lavrinenko, thank you and good night.